Open up my heart, open up my...
So I was born actually in Mexico, but at the age of 3, my family immigrated to the United States. So I grew up in San Diego, California. I am the only child. My father passed away when I was a lay missionary, so I only have my mother left and me. I don't come up from a very Catholic, I mean, we are Catholic, but we're not very devoted people. We weren't very devoted. So my family was not very used to going to Mass and frequenting the sacraments. My mother and father actually got married when I was already 15 years old, and all due to the Bible classes that they started taking with the sisters. So, in conclusion, we were not very close to God, and that is how I grew up, not knowing God and not knowing anything about Him. As I said, I was not very interested in the things of God, but God was interested in me. So it was everything happened so sudden in my life. One day, I just because of an incident, my car was stolen. So I was working at that time. I needed a car, so I told a friend to give me a ride to buy a new one because I needed it to go to work. So during that lunch break in my job, I went with a friend to look at some cars, and while we were in the freeway, my friend was speeding a bit, so we were stopped by the police. The police stopped us and asked our IDs, everything, and started to search the car. And my friend had in his car some illegal things for which he was arrested, and I didn't know he was into those kind of things. So the police tried to look at my records. I obviously didn't have any because I had never been involved in bad things, even though I was very, say, I do so many things, but not as bad as having some illegal things or taking illegal drugs or anything. So at that time also, I was in the process of arranging my status in the United States. As I told you, we had immigrated when I was young, so until then I was not legally in the United States. So what happened is that they told me, oh, you don't have any, we won't arrest you, but you have to leave the country. When I was in Tijuana, I called my uncle and I told him, you know, uncle, this happened to me, can you come and pick me up and like that. He was very angry because so my family was very stressed because of one of my cousins had an accident and they were all in the hospital. So he was stressed and came. He was angry. Then when he picked me up, he told me, I'm going to leave you in one place and you're going to stay there for 2 days because you are so rebellious. He had tried talking to me before, like telling me that I had to change the way I dressed and the things I did, but I never listened. So at that time, I think he was a little like too overwhelmed by the bad things that I was doing and stuff. So he asked permission to the sisters who were staying in Tijuana, the missionary servants of the word. He asked permission for me to stay there with them. Invited me. That particular weekend, they had a vocational retreat, what you are having now. And they invited me to participate. Actually, they didn't invite me, they forced me because I had no choice. I was staying there with them and I was punished, so I had to do everything they asked me. So they told me to come to this retreat and told me there was going to be a lot of young people, but there was only 7 participants in the vocational. So I came to the retreat and I don't remember anything about the retreat actually, but I remember they asked me if I wanted to be a lay missionary for 1 year. And I said, 1 year? Why would I be a missionary for 1 year? And one sister who seemed pretty nice to me at that moment, she told me, why don't you try it? I mean, what can you lose? Can you show God that you are free from the slavery of your cell phone, of your friends, of your vices? And I remember feeling very proud and saying, yes, of course I am free. I can leave everything I want whenever I want. So I did. All I can share that God really changed completely my life. He chose me without me even realizing it when I was younger. I never imagined I was going to be a sister, but He chose me and He changed my life forever. So I invite you, young people, to have the courage to be lay missionaries for 1 year and discover what it is that God is asking you. Is it either to get married, to be a sister, or to stay single for the rest of your life? Discover it. Be generous to God. Be brave and be missionaries for 1 year.
Cover me
Merry
with
Christmas.
grace, cover me with love, preparing me